there.
Oh. Okay, sorry.
All right. So, just a quick kind of overview of the current situation you're in. All four of you are sitting at a table. The plates have been cleared. There's a few empty crumbs, half empty wine bottles, wine cups. Yeah? Now, the thing is, this isn't your typical looking joint. You're looking around, kind of taking the place in. The atmosphere seems a little classier than some of you are definitely into. Waitresses, other people, there's some smooth jazz music playing in a corner. And across from the four of you sits a man in a nice suit, handing you passing an envelope across the table, saying, "Well, are you in?"
Is everyone in the joint wearing like suits and stuff?
Most people.
So Rook is probably the only one of us that looks like he fits in.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh yeah, I just want to mention my dude has been extra hardcore edgy and put the katanas on his back, so they just stick out.
Security would have probably stopped you at the door and would have asked you to put them in like a secure deposit thing, and you could have them back after exiting.
My dude is very disgruntled that he had to do this.
I keep my pistol in a holdout holster, like
I-
under my coat.
I surrendered all my weapons. Like
My
didn't
dude,
fight
my
back.
dude surrendered his katana, but he's still very disgruntled about this fact.
So it's my and David's first job. Has the rest of you like?
Yeah, I'm kind
I've
of like
done
I'm
this
looking.
well.
I'm looking across for like guidance on this one.
Well, you Austin just asked.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm just
God.
saying.
I know. I was like,
Have
I'm
you-
looking amongst the group to see if we're all in on this.
Yeah, have the two of you done runs before?
My
done
dude has done a couple of runs, let's say so, because
I've been doing runs for like 6 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
Right.
look to you then on this one.
So,
They let us smoke in here.
yes, people are smoking, mostly
Yeah.
smoking cigars.
I got a cigarette, like
That's
puffing
fine.
out.
So
Pass-
Jack
pass me a
Jack
cigarette.
opens. Well, like, yeah, I'm guessing the details are in the envelope.
So, okay, if you open the envelope, here we go.
It explodes.
Yeah, it totally explodes. There's a data bomb tied to opening, and
It's
it
Mission
triggered.
Impossible, and it
Look,
they
you
didn't
got
set it right.
5 seconds. No,
We all die.
so Jack, you were contacted by one of your fixers. Do you have any fixers?
I don't have any fixes,
I have
but
a fixer.
I've got a casino owner and a gang leader.
Perfect. Okay, you were
Creole is our fixer.
you were approached by a man in the casino approximately a few weeks ago, and he offered you a rather promising sounding meeting. What were you doing?
What, during the time?
Mm-hmm.
Just gambling away, just, testing my luck at the blackjack.
Sure.
Is he a poker man, Rook?
He does dabble in poker as well, but it's not fair on everyone else.
So if you want, this is also the opportunity to introduce your character. You don't have to.
So, yeah, Jack White. Well, I'm sure you guys have all read his backstory, so there's not really much explaining to do. He's down on his luck. He used to have it all, and now he doesn't, and he's working his way back up to provide for his son.
Do you have a dependent?
Yeah, I've got that.
Cool.
Nice. So yeah, a man approaches you. No, wait, hold on. Are you physically present at the casino?
Yes.
All right. So yes, one of the guys kind of slides into the blackjack table and starts playing along. And a few minutes in, he says, "Let's see, you go by Rook, right?
Yes.
Rook, we've got a potential job. We need a data retrieval from a warehouse. Would you be interested in hearing the proposal?"
What's the catch?
The catch is, it may not be there. We hope it's there, and it's corporate tech.
Well, you know how it goes.
He nods and slides you a. Actually, no, he doesn't slide you anything. He calms you a date, time, and coordinates. And then he finishes his hand and walks off.
I down my drink.
Cool.
Pay out.
So, Joey, approximately let's see. How spontaneous is your character?
Not very. He took a long time to consider, do I follow up after my brother disappeared? Like, he was quite comfortable in his life and really only came out to the city both to find his brother and out of a sense of curiosity.
Alright, so what were you doing approximately 3 weeks before this?
I was on a boat heading for the American coastline. It wasn't a comfortable trip. I
Like a little while after he landed, he met up with my character.
Yeah, we've been like, I asked him to look into my brother because he didn't tell me his name as a Shadowrunner. He didn't tell me his fake sin. So I only know my brother as David Morton. He never like left details, like what alias he was operating under or anything like that.
Cool.
And my character recently like cut ties with his poly club, so he's sort of been working as a private eye while trying to get into the Shadowrun business, like unsuccessfully. So that's why
Yeah.
sort of had ads and things.
So in that case, I'll consider you two together.
Yeah.
So, Johnny, about how long ago did you leave the Necrodancers?
It was a couple months previously, and I've been having a really rough time since then because I've been with them since I was like an adolescent, basically.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. Give me a minute here. Okay. I'll just say a week then, since you guys have been together for a little bit. About a week ago, Johnny, you get a direct mail straight to your VR inbox offering details about a potential stealth hack or organized opportunity from your fixer.
Oh, from Creo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It says the letter pretty much starts off with like, "Yo, I know this is your first run, but this shouldn't be too big. It's just a simple data heist."
Right. I just send him back something like "finally" and then my icon.
And
Time to crash.
yeah, he follows up with a date, time, and coordinates.
Okay.
All right.
I probably would have been like, "Hey, Joey, you were looking for your brother. He's a Shadowrun. You want to break into the Shadowrun business? Maybe you'll find him that way." And I show him the.
Can't live off your goodwill forever. Sure thing. I'll go with you on this.
Yeah.
All right. So, Smitty, would you call your character? What's the word I'm looking for? Crap. It's the opposite of planning.
Would I call him crap? I don't know.
No. It's the
No,
opposite.
it's Shadowrun. He's Drek.
Exactly.
What do you mean? What is it?
Are you spontaneous?
Drek is Shadowrun slang for shit.
He's kind of spontaneous. Yes, he just woke up one day, decided to end his lifestyle, and
Impulsive.
yeah, kind of impulsive. Yeah, he mostly does shit to pay the rent.
In that case,
But he's been a
approximately.
Shadowrunner before, though, right?
Yeah.
He's been done like a few minor jobs before, but nothing really big. He's pretty new to the business.
Cool. In that case, approximately 2 hours and 36 minutes ago, somebody passing you on the street stopped and said, "Hey, are you looking for a potential gig? You look like the type that might be willing to run a job."
Depends. Will it pay my rent?
He looks at you, smiles, and shrugs, and says, "I don't know the exact details," but he hands you an envelope with a date, time, and coordinates.
He just looks at the envelope and he says, "Fine," without looking in it.
So, like the rest of us have like a week to scope out the place and make sure we want to go and like, you know, get all the details. Maybe we're even like dressed a little bit better than we usually are.
I don't give.
And Smitty's just
like he's like, you see, okay, lads, I really need this job. I'm behind on my rent for like a month, and the hag that is my actually, what's the word for it when you have someone you pay rent to?
A landlord.
Landlord.
My landlord, she's whining at me. She's banging on my door. I can't stand it. I need rent.
You're
Yeah,
a
so, like,
giant cyber demon.
since we've had the coordinates for a while, Crash looks better than he usually does. Like his hair isn't up in a mohawk; it's actually like slicked down, and he's not wearing a suit, but it's like it's better than just, you know, like street clothes.
My
Yeah,
concession to fashion was taking my green jacket off. That was about it.
Are you wearing your hat?
No, I didn't actually give him a hat in the character description. This was like the least
Oh.
silly Australian hunting like image I could find.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My dude basically looks like he does in the picture. He doesn't give a fuck.
He's wearing a trench coat and like obvious armor and things.
Yeah,
So
he just sits there with his feet on the table.
in each of your envelopes or digital things, you each got a kind of a call card that will let you through the front door, and someone will direct you to a table.
What's the name of the club?
The name of the club is the Smoking Gun.
Lovely.
Appropriate.
Yeah. So across from you
Enough.
sits a fairly dapper gentleman. He's got his hair slicked back, it's like salt and pepper colored, and he's smoking on a cigarette. As you guys approach the table and sit down, he greets you one by one as you finally show up. Which of you guys would be the last to show up?
Smitty.
Yeah.
Probably Smitty.
He got kind of in a heated argument, like, see, lads, this is my katanas. I can't go inside without my katanas.
And
Joey and I have been in the club for like a few hours, like because I wanted to get there early and scope the place out.
sure.
And I had nothing else to do that day, so
Smitty is kind of unprofessional. He's basically like, come on, just let me in. I'm just going to be in there for a couple of minutes, then go out. Like, Jesus.
Johnny is maybe overeager, like because he's been wanting to be a Shadowrunner since he was a kid, basically. So he's doing everything that he thinks would be the Shadowrun thing to do.
Right. So, all right. So Jack shows up somewhere in the middle, probably. So Johnny and Joey, eventually, you get waved over to a table where, as I described the gentleman, he makes small talk, kind of offers you food and drink. And then until Rook shows up, in which, seeing another kind of respectably dressed person, and he probably recognizes Jack. A little surprised, stands up and shakes his hand. And then, does the same, offers food, drink.
there's actually
And
a
then-
thing because my guy wouldn't know who Jack White is.
No.
Couldn't
Well,
say
right.
for Johnny.
How long has it been since you were actually running?
Call it 5.5 years.
Okay, my character probably doesn't know who you are then.
Sure. And then finally, you see like an armed escort not carrying Smitty, but like just kind of walking behind him, escorting him to the table, saying, "No, you're supposed to just sit here."
Like his card just barely got him in.
Pretty much.
Oh, come on. Just because I have katanas. I mean, I realize I'm probably better than you at this, but come on.
And the salt and pepper gentleman looks across and says, "No, it's all right. Please have a seat," and gestures you toward the seat. And he
Finally,
waves the
someone
cards away.
who treats me like they should.
Who's this dickhead?
Who
Johnny
you
looks
calling?
up at Smitty.
Who
you calling
looks
Jack?
like someone to take the bullets for us.
Who you're calling Dreckhead, kiddo?
Right,
have a
settle down, you two. There's no point in arguing before we start a mission.
Fair enough.
Your salt and pepper Johnson sits, smooths out his suit,
Salt and Pepper Johnson.
Salt and Pepper Johnson
Salt and Pepper Johnson.
orders a drink and gets down to the details, and he says, "Well, we've assembled you four here for a job we need to run. We're looking at a no, salt and pepper. He's got to be white and gray.
Wait,
Well,
you
surely
threw
it's only
that.
his hair that's salt and pepper. Maybe he has
Yeah.
red skin. What do you know?
That's true. Maybe he's a troll. That's what. That's exactly it. I didn't tell you guys. He's actually a Redskins troll.
Oh,
We don't judge.
No, I'm kidding.
I judge immensely.
He actually is human.
Okay.
So he begins to like, kind of dive into the details of the job. We're looking at a data heist from a warehouse. We know the coordinates. We know the items there. It was recently shipped. But the problem is that this warehouse is a short time, kind of intermittent point. Items come in, and maybe within an hour, maybe within 4 hours, they're gone. It's more of a holdover for goods. But we've managed to track a particular corporate data item that was scheduled to be delivered in a couple of hours and scheduled to be released the following morning. We need you to break in at night, steal the item, and retrieve it for us. And he passes the envelope across the table to Rook and says, "Well, are you in?"
Am I not?
If you look through the envelope, it's actually got like a semi sort of floor plan with a few kind of security details about it. It's got a few kind of scheduled delivery times and general coordinates where it is.
I just assume that I'm sitting next to Rook, and I'm sort of looking over his shoulder at everything, but I'm only like half there because I'm also in AR, like running things through and doing all that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, if you are looking through AR, this joint kind of takes a different, I don't want to say tone, but it looks a lot more lively.
You can just assume that I always have AR on because I have
Okay.
image link on my glasses.
Cool, I will then.
Do you know how many guards are there?
He looks up at you and says, there's 2 night patrolmen. However, there are multiple security cameras, and there may be a drone or 2. This is a private run warehouse, but a lot of corporations do dead drops here.
Is there any clue, just looking at the contents of the folder, of what is it a mega corporation or is it just some like subsidiary thing?
Looks like you're going to be the item is from Renraku.
Renraku.
Yeah, Crash looks very excited.
Smithy looks kind of bored. He just plays with an empty glass.
At least, I'm pretty sure it's Renraku. I think that's the one I wanted to go with.
Renraku is like
The Japanese one, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, there's several Japanese ones, but Renraku is like the data computers one.
Yeah, the sciencey one.
Yeah, the meta sciencey one. Perfect.
Yeah. My my cyber deck is Renraku.
So yeah, it's a Renraku job to steal a data item.
How
Not
can we contact
employed
you
by
after?
Renraku, but the item itself is a Renraku item.
He looks up at you, Jack, and passes you a business card. It's semi kind of glossy, but it's got like this weird metallic backing when you touch it. You don't actually see anything on the card, but Johnny does. You see kind of like the card kind of comes to life and with like a 3D kind of projection on it, and on the front of it, it has like a calling called the Librarians, and it has a location and a number.
Can I see it with like my cyber eyes?
Yeah, if you have AR on, you can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, you have cyber.
Like I see Johnny like looking at it curiously, and it's like,
Oh, then you just switch your image link on.
yeah.
Yeah, the card comes to life under AR.
I copy all of this, all the things. Like I basically just take like a screenshot essentially, and I just copy all the stuff to my deck.
Press print screen, Control V into Paint.
Yeah, I'm literally I just hit print screen with my eyes, with my deck.
I'm just
I
blown
pocket.
away by like people with robotic eyes.
They're glowing.
But I don't have
blue.
robotic eyes. I have
be
really
green.
fancy sunglasses.
Oh, okay.
So Rook's
Yeah.
is just kind of like flash, and then they look a little different, and then he reads the card. Cool.
I would say that my sunglasses are like mirror G shades, basically. They're like black mirror shades.
Yeah.
Like agent shades.
No, like G shades, like big, like trucker glasses, like the big like. You just Google G shades.
I don't think I'm getting what you're looking for.
It doesn't matter. They're big glasses.
Yeah, cool.
They're a mirror like sheen. Yeah, I just copy the information.
Great.
I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
Oh, I guess I'm in as well then.
Yeah, cool. He finishes up his drink, stands up, smooths his suit out, and says, "Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure."
Hey,
Okay.
what about the pay?
Yeah, how much do we get paid for this?
Jack, since you got the envelope, it looks like he's offering 250,000 million.
Per?
No, total.
I'm still like, that's more money than I've ever seen in my life.
Johnny doesn't say that, but he's kind of like thinking that. He's like,
You have not seen much money, have you, Aussie?
No, I've been spending my whole fucking life in a shack. Reading dusty old books from fucking before the awakening.
Why the fuck would you living in an old shitty shack?
It was better than living in the city.
Dude, I
my
don't-
character sort of looks at Rook and he's like, that's a good pay, right?
Rook just looks him in the eye for a second and then just nods really slowly.
Should be enough for pay. Should be enough for rent and make that old hag shut up.
I'll get fungus off me back for a while.
I
I don't explain what I mean by fungus in any way.
Smithy looks at David and just slightly just shoves away.
When Mr. Johnson stands up, Crash also stands up and offers his hand to shake.
Yeah, no, he takes it, shakes it firmly.
Yeah, when he shakes his hand, I'm like thumbing my cyber deck, and I leave my signature just in VR, so he can't see it right now unless he like actually plugs into a deck or something. I leave my signature just like floating above him.
So would that like follow him around?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in VR. It's like a present, and when he opens it, it's a time bomb that explodes into a smiley face that has the text "You've been crashed" swirling around it
Amazing.
in a circle.
It's like the most juvenile thing ever.
It is, and that's my signature. I leave it everywhere.
Great.
Why he just turns upside down?
It has no like actual data connection to me as far as like if you examine the file or anything.
Yeah.
But it's the same smiley face I have in my tattoo when I flex my fists.
Cool. Yeah. As you do that, your cyber deck comes like kind of beeps a message to you and says your Overwatch score is at 1.
Okay. Yeah, I just sit back down and I reboot my cyber deck.
Yeah. He looks like kind of around the table before he heads off. And says, "Well, gentlemen, drinks and food are on the house tonight, so enjoy what you will." And he walks out.
Sweet.
Jack raises a glass of scotch to him
I'm like,
and drinks it.
hey,
I was just drinking lager this whole time.
what was your name again, Elf?
You mean Jack, right? He doesn't look like an elf.
Oh, yeah. I'm just like, what was your name again? I'm looking at you.
Just call me Rook. That's what
All right.
everyone else calls me now.
You wanna pass that envelope around?
I open up, like, he opens up and spreads it across the table.
Yeah, I just sort of like spread all the information around just to look at everything.
I take screenshots with my image link.
So, what time was the job? Is it tonight or is it tomorrow night?
It's going to be tonight. Currently, it's around 4 p.m. in the afternoon. The delivery is scheduled for 10 p.m. and pickup is scheduled for 10 a.m.
What
that's good.
district are we in right now?
District, that's a good question. I don't fucking know.
You want me to get that map for you again?
I got it bookmarked.
Okay. Can you link it to me? Because I don't have it bookmarked.
That's the world map. You're in Seattle. Here's the district map.
I mean, I know we're in Seattle, but which district of
I
Seattle?
guess Redmond?
Would we be in Redmond? Or would we be in downtown? Or
You'd be in a little higher up. I would say you're currently in Bellevue.
Cool.
okay, Bellevue's like the snotty neighborhood area,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
So that
That's
explains why we were just in this posh place with a bunch of suit-wearing Johnsons.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
why I was gonna say either downtown or Bellevue.
Yeah,
Would
you're
fit.
currently in Bellevue. The warehouse is immediately outside of Bellevue in Renton.
Hmm.
Cool.
Okay.
What's the address on the warehouse then?
If you zoom in right above the B, it's like Issaquah.
Cool. On the high road.
Mm-hmm.
Interstate 90.
Yeah, we're just off of 90.
Okay, what is the actual folder? It just gives an address, or does it actually have a map?
No, it's got some sparse details of the warehouse, such as security layout, patrol routines, a picture of the item you're looking for, but doesn't say like what container it's in, and it's got like the actual location.
Okay, I want to buy a software MapSoft. I want to.
Just.
I get on the Matrix and I quickly just want to buy a MapSoft for written.
Yeah, no problem. You log on to Amazon, you get it, and you immediately download it.
It's 100 million.
Cool. Mark it.
I turn to Jorgen and I say, "How you doing, mate? Name's Hunter."
You said your name was Hunter?
Yeah.
I'm Smitty. You can call me Smitty T. Ripper.
I think I'll stick with Smitty.
All right, I pull out a little device from my jacket and I set it in the middle of the table. It's sort of like it's a TRID projector, so it just looks like some kind of science fiction-y hollow thing. And I load the MapSoft onto my CyberDeck and I slave my TRID projector to it so that a 3D image of written appears on the table, like hovering above it.
Nice.
And then I slip on my AR gloves and I just sort of flip around to where the warehouse is so that we see like a 3D projection of the area around it.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple. It looks like a L-shape Tetris piece. You know, you imagine the big long part's probably the warehouse. The other one's probably like a set of offices. You've got a rough floor plan. It seems to be the offices are 2 stories. Looks like there's a nice set of cubicles with like kind of like a lobby, and then the back part of the warehouse has like a built-in truck entrance, and you see a couple of forklifts for moving heavier items.
Are there any notable neighboring buildings?
No, unfortunately not. It looks more kind of like a semi-abandoned area.
Okay,
It kind of
so
surprises you that this location is used as a dead drop for corporations.
yeah, it does seem kind of obvious.
But maybe it's more of a obscurity or security through obscurity kind of deal.
So I sort of like thumb my CyberDeck and look at everybody and I'm like, so chums, this is what I'm good at. What are you good at?
I just look at him. Well, oh yeah, Smitty is also downing a fine steak since everything is on the house.
Yeah, he's just been eating this whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, You see, lad, I don't do much, but what I do know is that I can kill stuff. And see these here katanas? Yeah.
You mean the ones that you had to leave at the front of the?
Yeah, I don't see any katanas, mate, unless they're like in virtual reality or something.
No, he's definitely not got any VR katanas.
Oh,
Whatever. You will see what I can do with a pair of those.
Oh, Smitty, I should mention, you're eating real beef.
Beef.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this place serves real beef.
Why do you think Smitty is taking advantage of it?
I sort of sniff it, and I'm like, I like wave over waiter, and I'm like, hey, you got coffee?
She smiles and says, "Of course. Do you want sugar?
No. I mean, you got real coffee?
We don't serve soy calf. That's what you're saying."
Yeah,
Asking.
I definitely order some.
Okay.
Take
and now-
advantage, lads. This is
My
probably
character's
the
never
last.
had coffee in his life.
This is probably the
Soy-
last time you will ever eat at a fine place like this.
All right, soy calf has
Waiter,
been
give me
permanently
2 more
ruined for you.
steaks.
I looked at the
It's permanently ruined soy calf for me.
Yeah, now soy calf will forever taste like shit.
Joey feels
I
like
look
incredibly
around
out of
the
place.
package to see if there's anything on who manages the cameras, if there's like a local cam room, or if it's like managed outside.
So wait, what are you looking at?
Like the cameras, are they tied to an internal system or are they monitored from outside?
Unfortunately, the dossier isn't that specific.
We'd have to scope out the place to find that out. I can find that kind of stuff out though, Rook. Don't worry.
It's...
We just gotta get closer.
Well,
What else?
Stakeout.
What else does it say for us?
It's actually kind of sparse on details. It's got the layout, the location, what security is there, what the drop times are. There are 2 patrolling security guards, a possible security drone, and multiple security cameras.
When it says security guards, does it give dossiers on the individual security guards, or just give us a number?
It's contracted out to some PMC, so it's just like, oh yeah, this corporation's security guards.
You
Right.
say like we're stealing data, but is the data on like a physical hard drive? tied
Yes.
to it? Okay.
Yeah, do we have a picture of what the data is actually on?
Yeah, so that's kind of a confusing thing for you because you've never seen a data storage item like this. It's this weird green prism that's about the size of your middle finger. Like lengthwise.
I take the picture and I run it through my different like searching algorithms to see if there's anything I can find on what it is.
You basically Google it.
What
Yeah,
kinda-
but it's a little more complex than Googling it. But
yeah. So are you kind of putting any specific queries or just looking for anything?
I'm just using the image itself, and I'm seeing if there's anything I can find that looks similar to that.
Sure, so you end up pulling up a bunch of like 3rd grade science books about converting light into rainbow spectrums.
Okay, and then I filter, like I just get everything, and then I filter it with data storage.
Okay, now you're getting into more research, like scientific grad student research papers done on particle storage devices using quantum light mechanics.
Oh, also I have what are they called? One second.
Like, I'm just on my phone that I only got, like, a week ago because Johnny told me to get a phone. Or a comlink,
Yeah, I did.
rather.
Yeah, and you're like playing Tetris, right? And it's like, oh my
Pretty
god,
much.
what is this?
I have electronic paper, which I can use to like show everyone what I'm doing on my cyber deck. So I just pass around like 3 pieces of paper, just so that people are able to see what I'm doing.
Cool.
It's literally just a piece of paper that is also like a monitor or something.
Nice. So yeah, you end up pulling like a bunch of capstone term papers about light storage.
I can't
that's
make
instead.
heads or tails of any of this.
Like it's
Neither do I.
it seems like weird theoretical super science bullshit.
Tech boy, can you magnify? Zoom in.
I think you need to enhance it.
Enhance.
That's all the
Yeah.
resolution we got.
The words get bigger.
And now
Oh,
zoom
yeah,
out. I
man.
can't see the end of the sentence.
Can I use hardware or computer or anything like that in order to get anything on it?
Sure, you can run a hardware skill check.
Okay.
Twist it in the third dimension.
I just take a bit of Jorgen's steak and just like chuck it in my mouth and like, oh.
Do I get any modifiers?
You can order your own.
Take a -3 for kind of theoretical unknown tech.
I've already eaten today.
You can
Oh,
take
wow.
some more home
One
with
success.
you. Or do you still live in a shack?
So yeah, looking at this thing, you imagine that it's the correct size. You can kind of recognize, oh, well, like that's the import. Data gets stored, obviously there. But then you're kind of like racking your brain trying to think, well, wait, the fuck do you connect this to? And that's where you really get stumped.
Okay.
Like, you don't think there's any tech out there that's currently available to kind of read one of these storage devices.
So can I assume that it's specialized for something?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Like, you're
So-
looking at it and it's like, well, it's a prism, so maybe it's got like 3D projection kind of stuff.
Yeah, I sort of share that with the group.
Oh, I don't question what they want. I just want the money and some more details.
Yeah, I mean, there ain't much that it tells me as far as the run goes, except that whatever this is, it's expensive.
I think we should probably assume it's also quite fragile.
Yeah, and might also assume that it's more heavily secured than than this would have us.
Well, I don't want to hold on for it
Please.
for too long. Seems like hot property.
So, yeah, I'm just reviewing the map. And I'm like, hey, one of you guys got a car or something?
Well,
I
No.
do have an armoured van. Don't
Wait, you
ask
do?
how I have an armoured van, I just do.
You just
Did
bought
you
an
buy
open
one when
head.
you landed?
I got one in character creation. I'm having a hard time justifying that. In fact, as far as I remember saying I got the van and then I gave it to Lint's character, I think.
Maybe you
Yeah.
you took it over with you, like on a
That's-
boat.
That could be an explanation. Like, most of my money
would
before
be
coming
fun.
over here was selling, like, strange and exotic carcasses to travelling businessmen.
Oh god, we're sacrificing the guy on the table.
But, yeah, so, I don't know. I have an Ares
Okay, we
Roadmaster.
probably rode over here in that then.
Are my guys mostly predisposed to a dirt bike?
I got my own bike. I got my own ride. I ride alone.
But yeah, I've got an Ares Transport. I've got an Ares Roadmaster with no modifications.
Okay, so there's no neighboring buildings. Are there any hills or anything that we could scope out the place from? Because if it's got no neighboring buildings, if we just
Oh,
drove
no,
up,
there
and sat
are
our-
neighboring buildings, but they're like, some of them seem kind of like abandoned.
Okay.
That's even better.
Are they multiple stories?
Yeah.
Does
Okay.
it on
So
the
we'll
side
have
of the
plenty to choose from then.
Hmm?
What?
What'd you say?
Sorry, I was letting you finish because my question was less important.
No, it's fine.
Alright, I was basically asking if there's like fire escapes or ladders on the side of the warehouse for roof access.
It doesn't appear so.
Ah, okay.
So
what'd you
what I'm
ask?
thinking is, we drive over there and then we take a shop and then I just sort of I use AR arrow to mark out on the trip projection building. Like one of the buildings just turned to blue as I'm talking. I'm like, okay, we go up on here and then we scope out the place.
Well, ain't that a fancy pansy plan?
You got a better one?
You want to go get
Yeah,
yourself a load? Feel free. It means more pay for us.
I have a plan. Yes, let's just ram into there and take him out.
I'm not exactly in favour of that plan.
Sure, we'll do that, and then get every cop in the nearby. Let's go 100 miles on us. I
Yeah,
don't fancy my chances.
He's got it right there.
Cops aren't a problem, but I'll do this. I need the money.
Don't particularly want Lone Star to be one of the variables in this equation.
If you want to go and crash into the side of the building, that's fine. I'll just be a few miles away. Not involved.
Listen, how about we scope out the place, and then when the moment's right, you do the crash, and maybe we'll get you to be a distraction or something.
As long as I get paid.
All right, and then I just sort of like, at this point, I've got like 4 cups of coffee in front of me.
Oh, they would have cut you
So
off
have you got
too.
a little polystyrene cup to go as well?
Yeah, I'm like I put out my cigarette, and go up like when we're leaving, I go up to the waitress and I'm like, hey, could you maybe get me like a thermos of like full of.
She kind of leans on the counter and says, "Sorry, honey, food's not allowed to leave."
All right.
Smithy just walks past with steak, his stuff in his coat.
As we're leaving, I just sort of longingly look back at the table where the empty cups of coffee were.
I've actually picked up a menu and started reading through it to see the prices of this stuff.
You're looking at like a 500 million steak.
Oh my god.
I mean,
But yeah.
I could
Oh, yeah.
afford it, but I wouldn't want to eat it.
Oh yeah, out of character, I think. Like I said earlier, like my food is ready and stuff. So I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, well, we can take a break in one moment because I gotta drop
Yeah,
a
sure.
bomb here.
Sure. Just go.
So as you guys are walking out, Rook.
Yes.
So this place is full of like television screens, just kind of like projecting the news. How connected have you been to the news lately?
I try to stay on top of. Wait, what do you mean? Like me keeping up with it, or?
Yeah, just like
Yeah, I
watching
try
the
to stay on
news.
top of it whenever I can.
All right. Well, you see a person you recognize, a Seattle senator, talking, like giving an impassioned speech for his next upcoming election run. And on his arm, you have to assume is his wife, but there's something strange about his wife. It looks
I
like
activate like. Do I have recording on my CyberLink? My CyberEyes.
You do.
Oh, yeah, I start recording because
Image has recording stuff.
yeah,
Cool.
but there's something strange looking about his wife. Like you recognize the face, but not the outfit. She's wearing glasses, it looks like, and her hair is completely different. But you seriously think it's your wife?
he grits his teeth. Like
I just kind of
it
stopped.
could not be her.
Yeah, no, it could totally not be her, but that face, like, you don't. That face is too perfect, like too perfect of a match.
You don't stay with your wife for that many years and not recognize her face.
Exactly, but there's something off, like the manner of dress, the style of hair, and she's wearing glasses.
There's like a moment where he's in front of us and he stops and I like look at him and I look at the screen. I look at him like, "Yo, you all right?"
Yeah, well, who's that on the screen there?
It's
Senator Nick Smith. I use Smith too much. Nick,
Smith is a good, just kind of easy name to go to.
yeah, but I use it too much. Nick Warburton, because actually, no, that's actually his name. Fucking hell.
He also sells bread in his spare time.
It's Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg.
Senator Mark Wahlberg of 2070 or 2080.
well, his career got a boost.
Nick Torstein, because
Wouldn't it be great? Because this character is basically Max Payne, and then it is Senator Mark Wahlberg.
I just type that name out you gave, and I'll use that. All right, let's take a break.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I'll try not to be too long. So I'll be back.